The allegations surrounding MrBeast have taken a dark and troubling turn. Over the past few weeks, more information has surfaced that paints a concerning picture of what goes on behind the scenes. The once beloved internet philanthropist is now facing a flood of accusations that range from casting questionable characters in his content to disturbing claims about his business ethics. This script dives deep into these claims and lays out every detail as it unfolds. It all started when rumors began circulating that MrBeast allowed a registered offender to participate in one of his high-stakes challenge videos. The contestant in question, referred to as Delaware, is confirmed by Jake the Viking to be his brother-in-law. The man's criminal history includes some horrific details involving a victim as young as 11 years old. Shockingly, it's claimed that MrBeast and his mother were fully aware of this background and still allowed Delaware to compete. But that's not all. Rosanna Pansino revealed even more troubling details when she tweeted about another contestant named Armani. This individual allegedly carried a record with over 20 serious charges, including battery, kidnapping, and robbery. Despite these red flags, Armani was reportedly allowed to participate in the Beast Games, where he made several female contestants uncomfortable by sleeping near them. It wasn't until after multiple complaints that he was finally removed from the set. This raises some serious questions. Why weren't proper background checks done? How does someone with this kind of history slip through the cracks? These lapses in judgment don't just put participants at risk, but also tarnish the credibility of the entire production. There's no excuse for this level of negligence, and people are starting to demand answers. The controversy doesn't end with questionable contestants. Reports have emerged that the results of the Beast Games have been tampered with. Several contestants have come forward claiming they were informed after making it through the first round that they were suddenly disqualified without explanation. Meanwhile, others who were eliminated early on are now being invited back. The most concerning part of these allegations is the suggestion that production teams are making decisions based on psychological evaluations conducted after the fact or simply playing favorites. This kind of manipulation damages the integrity of the competition and leaves everyone wondering if the entire show is rigged. If these allegations are true, it's hard not to feel that MrBeast is prioritizing drama and content over fairness. These behind-the-scenes power plays are eroding trust and raising suspicions about whether these challenges are genuinely won or merely orchestrated for maximum engagement. As more people speak out, Rosanna Pansino shared an unsettling claim. MrBeast's team might be hiring private investigators to dig up dirt on those who criticize him. She alleges that individuals are being offered money to fabricate stories aimed at discrediting her and others who have raised concerns. The implications here are serious. If someone within MrBeast's organization is engaged in this kind of tactic, it goes beyond just silencing critics. It enters the realm of active deception and bullying. Rosanna has gathered receipts and insists that she's prepared to defend herself legally if needed. But this kind of behavior raises another layer of questions about what MrBeast or those under him are trying to hide. Even if he isn't directly involved, the culture within his organization is starting to look toxic at best and corrupt at worst. Then there are the disturbing allegations involving MrBeast's Feastables brand. When the brand launched, it proudly advertised that its products were free of child and slave labor. This was highlighted in the company's FAQ and even had a dedicated page explaining their ethical sourcing. But in a shocking turn, those claims mysteriously disappeared from the website within months. The lack of transparency is alarming. Why remove such a significant detail if nothing has changed? The obvious conclusion is that Feastables may no longer be sourcing ingredients ethically. Critics are pointing to the chocolate industry's well-known exploitation of child and forced labor, and the timing of these changes only adds fuel to the fire. If MrBeast's team knew about these industry issues from the start and then quietly abandoned their ethical commitments, it's a damning revelation. For someone who built his reputation on generosity and kindness, exploiting vulnerable communities for profit would be the height of hypocrisy. And given how meticulously MrBeast manages his brand, it's hard to believe these moves were unintentional. The backlash isn't just coming from outside the organization. Even some of MrBeast's former collaborators have stories to tell. Take Jake Wedd, a participant in one of MrBeast's more grueling challenges involving solitary confinement. Jake described the experience as nothing short of torture, with sleep deprivation and intense psychological pressure. In response, MrBeast privately reached out to apologize and even offered Jake nearly $200,000, the amount he would have won if he had completed the challenge. But here's where it gets interesting. Jake refused the majority of the payout, only accepting $50,000. His reason? He didn't want to compromise his integrity or appear like he was being bought off. This move from MrBeast could be seen in two ways: a genuine attempt to make amends or a calculated PR move. Either way, the situation illustrates the fine line MrBeast is walking between righting his wrongs and controlling the narrative. As more people come forward with stories, the pressure is on for him to address these issues openly. Not all the controversies are criminal in nature, though. Some, like the case involving YouTuber Tor, deal with allegations of idea theft. Tor claims that he pitched an idea involving floating platforms and obstacle challenges, only to have MrBeast's team steal the concept and run with it. Tor's initial response was to launch a GoFundMe asking for $1.7 million in compensation, a move that was widely criticized. He later apologized and refunded the money after facing backlash. The whole ordeal raises valid questions about how MrBeast's team handles creative contributions and whether they adequately credit those who contribute. While it's possible that the idea was coincidentally similar to something MrBeast's team was already working on, the way Tor was treated leaves room for doubt. Even if his claim is exaggerated, it's another example of how quickly things can spiral out of control when people feel like they're being exploited. One of the most revealing aspects of the ongoing saga is a leaked document allegedly outlining MrBeast's work culture. The document paints a picture of a demanding environment where staff are pushed to their limits, working long hours with little room for error. There's talk of discouraging employees from taking holidays and enforcing all matters in the lead-up to big shoots. On the surface, it might seem like a standard for a high-stakes business. But when coupled with accusations of favoritism and toxic management practices, it becomes clear that this is far from the idyllic workplace MrBeast portrays publicly. Critics argue that this approach creates a pressure cooker environment that's unsustainable and harmful in the long run. While MrBeast continues to present himself as the ultimate role model, the reality of working for him may be very different. These revelations suggest a disconnect between the persona he presents and the reality behind the scenes. The controversies surrounding MrBeast extend even further into his personal life, with his relationships coming under scrutiny. His current girlfriend's cryptic defense, claiming that half of the allegations are untrue, only adds to the confusion. Meanwhile, his ex-girlfriend has hinted at darker secrets, implying that women need to be protected from individuals like him. Although vague, these statements contribute to a growing atmosphere of suspicion. Rumors continue to swirl about tensions within MrBeast's team, particularly involving Chris Tyson's partner, who claims there's been an effort to keep people quiet. The situation is messy, and until more concrete details emerge, it's hard to separate fact from speculation. What is clear, though, is that MrBeast is at a critical juncture. The longer these allegations linger unaddressed, the more they will erode the trust of his audience. For someone who built their career on transparency and positivity, this could be the beginning of a steep decline. Time will tell how, or if, he manages to navigate these turbulent waters.